Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of Hermits and Crafting. And we're flying on in. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, that is now the second time I have died in an intro for failure to deploy the wings or failure to maintain your wings. I think it's the latter. I now have a new checklist that every time I prepare to start a video, not only do I check the audio, the video, but I'm going to check my wings. Welcome back to the community area, which we have been working on for the last few weeks. And we have now, of course, finished up all of the walls, all of the pathways, and it is now time to start the terraforming. So today's episode is going to be amazing. We're going to be making custom trees, plants, and all sorts of cool things, along with a little bit of a twist. And that is, we're going to take the design of the Nether portal and we're going to expand it out and into different areas of the build. So let's fly down to where the tentacles are. So these little things that branch out from the portal, we're going to take that design to the next level. We're going to say, think of it this way. See this piece that kind of goes across here and it kind of goes underground? We'll envision it now popping back up over here and maybe dipping back underground and again. And once it, heads on over to where the walls are, we can kind of push it out of the ground once again, and it's tearing down a piece of the wall. And that'll just continue to emphasize the theme and the story that this portal is destroying the city. So I think that's going to be pretty amazing. But before we get to that, let's head on down into the community area. And I think I'll probably put in an order with Mumbo to see what he's thinking about for a door here, because every time I think about this, I just feel like it really needs a grand entrance. We've been talking about this for the last few episodes. Yeah, I was gonna make a little faux door that you just walk through, but I think it needs something more. And if you think the same, like, let me know in the comments, because something needs to be nice that kind of sets the tone for the whole build. But this is what we worked on in our last episode. And I am so excited to finally have this done, because I'd planned it from the beginning. Once I, got these walkways done, I'm like, you know what would be great down here? One of the crystal caves. So we've got it. So we got the crystals hanging off the ceilings. Like I said, I still might add a few more here or there. But for the most part, man, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. And of course, incorporating light within them is really what makes it different. It's really what makes it truly stand out. Unlike, say, in HermitQuest, where we built the crystal caves in there, they had light emitting crystals. So the crystals we used emitted their own light. And then we just put, the actual glass panes around them. But we don't have that, of course, in vanilla. So I just incorporated, of course, the carpet trick that a viewer gave me long, long ago in 2014. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way this came out. And I think it just helps with the overall kind of design and just the nature of the build down here. Also, for the giant crystal in the center here, I just put additional pieces of light gray glass, and eventually that diffused the green that once was, sticking straight up. So now it matches pretty close to the other beacon, so it's not green. So I think that's actually pretty cool. And yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I'd also enjoy to be able to fly. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, we really truly did, by the way. I got to point this out. We finished it down here. I mean, yeah, maybe I'd like to get the torches underground, but for the most part, I got everything done now. And that just kind of hit me. This project is done. Besides the lighting, maybe some lighting tweaks, but all major aspects of this build are done. And that's just kind of like, that just kind of maybe stop and think for a second, because that took a very long time. We just need to finish this upper level. I think after this episode, we build the little buildings, and guess what? I think we're done with it up here too, which is absolutely amazing. So let's head back to Scarlandia and start getting the resources we need for today. Welcome back to Scarlandia, and it has been quite some time since we were last here. It's good to be back, right? To see all the mountains and, of course, our BFR taking off into the sky, which is my favorite thing inside of Scarlandia. And we're going to be back here relatively soon to continue to work on the base. We have all this blank green space to continue our designs. And looking at Scarlandia and, of course, the HermitCraft community area, this season was really truly taking Minecraft survival to to the next level. It's insane. Some of the things that we've done together, man, super inspirational. Anyway, all right, let's get busy. So this is my little growing tree platform. So I'm just growing them up, and that right there is a jackpot of a tree. You can't get any better than that when you're harvesting leaves. So one of the things I found is sometimes flying, well, if you can fly, that is, to the top is a little bit easier than kind of spiralizing it up and spiralizing it down to, you know, harvest the leaves and of course the wood. So if you just fly up to the top and just break it up from here, I think it's a little bit easier than the other way that we used to do it in the olden days. And one thing I forgot to mention in our previous clip was the revolution, or Viva Las Vegas, or whatever you want to call them. They thought they could prank the Vexes. I mean, come on. That's a silly talk. Those guys came into our Vex HQ and turned it into some kind of like revolution tent or something along those lines. But you know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? No, we're not going to let that bother us. No, we're going to turn this into a profit. That's right. Always turn all your negatives into profit. That's the Vex way, by the way. And we're going to turn that into McHermitDonald's. That is right. McHermitDonald's is coming to Minecraft. And we're going to be the finest supplier of hamburgers. Do we have hamburgers in this game? Yeah, we do. We have bread. We have bread and steak. So steak burgers, Hermit steak burgers are coming. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, you know what, Vexes, or Revolution, how could I have mixed you up with the Grand Vexes? Anyway, you guys can come and eat at our establishment free of charge for one time. That's right. It's really a payment for the idea that you've given us. So thank you. We appreciate it. And anyway, we are carving this all out of there, looking super fancy. And there's a little bit of lag spikes here in Scarlandia, as you might have noticed. And I think it is a result of our super awesome Bazuma fountains out there. Hopefully it's not, but it's potentially is, because we are shooting particles and pistons are firing over and over there. So I hope that's not the case. But like I said, it's okay. Maybe we could put them on a switch and turn them off when we don't need them. Anyway, so look at all of these leaves that we're going to be using for today's build. Oh my gosh, we actually have way more than I thought. This is perfect. So we're going to be using some spruce trees. It's going to be really cool. I'm really confident in the design that I have for them. I should have probably tested it, but I think it'll be good. It's good. I've got the confidence of the Scar in me. All right, so let's head back to the community area, start working on this landscape. Welcome back to the community area, and as you can see, the Shulker City is ever expanding. Oh my gosh, sometimes I just realize, like, it just hits me, like, what have I truly done with my storage? And this is just gets to be a nightmare when you're using a lot of different blocks like we have. You know, in these different walls we use a lot of different materials, and that requires a lot of storage of those materials, but I just don't have any skill in the organization department. Oh, let's just run away. So let's start working on our build today, and that is going to start with our landscaping. We're going to work with some trees and some plants and some basic terraforming around the edges, and then we're going to open it up to the evil that comes from the portal. And I've got some fantastic ideas from that, because I've been spending a little bit of time just thinking about how the general design will go. So let's start out here in the front, and what I'm thinking about is, when it comes to this gate area, you won't want it to be super obscured with plants and trees too much. You want it to be open a little bit to kind of see the details. So what I'm thinking about is starting in around here. So I've been doing a little terraforming in this area, just kind of cleaning up the terrain. So I think this area would be great probably for our first tree, right where I was kind of working earlier. So let's grab some materials, and as you guys can see, we're going to be using our spruce. And I'm kind of excited about this because we have not made a super awesome spruce tree in quite some time. So I'm very excited about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the base fairly plain for now, and I'm going to kind of work up the sides like a so, and then we'll start kind of fanning off the sides. So this one's going to end here. Now actually I'm going to move that one up 2 blocks, and I'm going to move this one up to be kind of the primary trunk. There we go. Add one more block down below. So one thing to do when you're looking at building your own custom tree similar to this is you've got to make sure you make the base of the tree thick enough for the, you know, whatever structure you create at the top. So if you're going to have like a really tall, like bushy tree, make sure the trunk at the bottom is structurally sound enough to hold up that. Like if you were looking at a real world tree, you wouldn't want it super skinny at the bottom and then gigantic at the top. That would just be very unstable. There we go. So just kind of fixing this up just a little bit, adding little details. I want this thing to be fairly substantial. There we go, with a lot of beautiful root systems. There we go. Awesome. Wait, what was under that block? Oh, I thought that was bedrock. I don't know why for a second I'm like, is that bedrock? It's like, it can't be. All right, there we go. That's looking absolutely fantastic. So what we're gonna do now is we can scaffold up a little bit and start working out our branches. Now, what I'd love to have this tree have is a little bit of a swirl, similar to what we did in Hermit Quest, but doing that particular tree design in survival is a bit of an issue considering how many trees we want to plant. But that's okay. We'll see what we can do. Not every tree has to have the little swivel design that I want to do. I'll make that make more sense a little bit once you see it. Me just saying we're just gonna add a little swivel doesn't really make sense. All right, this is gonna look fantastic. So once you get your base level detail done on the tree, so what we're doing right now, we're just adding some leaves, things along those lines. Just think of that as your first layer because it's going to look a little goofy once you get back down. You look at it from afar, you're like, this looks awful. But don't worry. You just want to come in and just start adding little branches here or there, and you might even want to take out a couple sections and then replace it. Just don't fear, relax, and just let it flow, because that's kind of the key with any kind of terraforming is there's going to be a lot of little strange areas and things that don't really make sense, and you just fix it. Don't even think about it. Don't get discouraged. Just keep on rolling. So I've been getting a lot of comments from people saying, they like terraforming, it's fun, but they can't quite get it right. And that's the thing. You're not going to always get it right. You're going to have to, trial and error all the little designs over and over. And eventually you're going to get it, my friends. Just be very, very patient and never give up. All right, there we go. And then we're going to swoop around. There we go, beautiful. And then swoop that down, and then let's move that. Okay, so this is the point where we're gonna come down, and it's gonna look a little bit funny, right? So what we're gonna do at this point is we're going to expand it out a little bit. So I'm gonna start adding some little pieces that kind of dangle downwards, like so. So these pieces are gonna start to come down. There we go. And I'm gonna not do too much of this because these kind of trees have more of like fan type branches. So there's not gonna be too much of the little like dangly pieces that would be more from an oak tree. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to do that, and I'm gonna thicken up this portion and send it just a little bit higher. And there we are, we have our tree, and I think it's pretty nice. It's a little smaller than I'd kind of hoped for, but that's the point. We kind of want to have smaller and bigger trees. And is that a majestic llama on a hillside above looking out upon the world? Anyway, this thing is looking pretty cool. Like I said, we'll add some bigger and some smaller trees here and there. So from this one, we need to make like 9 million more of these trees, and we need a variety of them. So we'll have this one with, different heights, and of course we'll add some different oak trees, and those are a little bit smaller trees, and those will be kind of growing through some of the, the walls and different things along those lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to terraform this chunk of land right here to give us a good, solid fundamental template for the rest of the area. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this design, we're going to build some more of these trees around, and of course, like I said, the oaks, and we'll take some plants, and then I'm thinking about incorporating a little bit of coarse dirt and different things along those lines around this area to really liven it up. Second point would be we need some more of those human elements to this area. And if you have any ideas for things that are the human elements, and what I mean by that is doorways, old merchandise stands, markets, wagons, anything that has that human touch to it, or hermit touch by that matter, let me know. Let me know what we could do in terms of that for this area, and maybe even, a little pond or two here and there can always be nice. So let me start working on that template. Welcome back, and I got a little carried away with the trees and the plants, and guess what? A waterfall. That's right, we got ourselves a waterfall also. So yeah, this is coming out pretty cool, and when I get going in landscaping, I just get in this kind of zen state and I just start rolling and rolling. Now, there's a lot of ground to cover, and something we spoke about in our prior episode was that nowadays in Minecraft we have to build broader and bigger spaces because of flying. When we're on the ground, our visual sight is a little bit more compressed. We can only see, just up until the ridge line and stuff like that. But let's jump up into the air and we'll fly. Well, it'd be nice if I could get up in the air here. There we go. So when you fly up here, you all of a sudden notice all the unterraformed areas, whereas you don't see that on the ground. So we have to do a lot more work these days to make sure that our builds are elytra approved builds, right? We got to make sure they look good. That red flower needs to go and burn with the passion of 1,000 scars. But yeah, I love the little waterfall flowing in there. I think that'll be pretty cool. I would like to add just a little bit more musty cobble just around the edges of the water. I think that would look really nice. So yeah, this is a solid design. I'm quite pleased with all of the little details in here. So what we need to do now, and I think I'm going to take what we've done here and move it on inside the interior. Now, we have all this space on the outside to work with, but we'll work on that, of course, on this video and on streams coming up. But I really want to start nailing down the designs, especially around the flanks of the circle here. So all along in these areas, because that'll kind of get that area sorted out, so then we can start working on the structures within the area. We spoke about those also in our prior episodes, which I'm getting very excited about building. So once we get, the trees sticking up around here, and then once we finish that design, we're moving on to what I've been very excited about today. And that, of course, is adding all of the evil from the portal. So taking some of that obsidian, that black concrete, the reds, the different color glasses, and start incorporating them into the design. Maybe even bringing in a little bit of purple would be nice too. I think that would be pretty cool, and also help kind of break up the amount of black concrete that we need, which is very difficult to get. I do have actually quite a bit of obsidian, but the black concrete takes a while. So maybe we could, substitute it with a little bit of terracotta concrete. Might actually be pretty cool. So, man, I'm very excited about this. Let's hit super fast build mode and start bringing these designs into the interior. End of super fast build mode, and the landscaping in the front portion of the community area is now finished, and it is looking super fancy. We put down a lot of blocks. That is a substantial amount of trees, and I think they're looking pretty cool. This one's nice because it's got kind of like a little top, and I think that's kind of unique because each tree I want to add its own character, so it's not all exactly the same. There's general uniformity amongst the trees because they're kind of the same species, but then there's their unique quirks and things along those lines that make each tree special. So that's really cool. And the same thing goes for, these little scar oaks and things along those lines. So yeah, this place, I don't know, like it just kind of takes my breath away thinking about what this place once looked like, even just a couple minutes ago when I left you, which is like 3 hours ago or 4 now. But yeah, look at the portal up there, flanked by all the trees. So I did a lot of thinking while I was doing the trees and stuff, trying to visualize what the theme again is, because every time we build something, we kind of evolve the theme of the build just ever so slight. So it's not currently being destroyed, the city. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, is that the portal has arrived, it's done its stuff, the hermits are down below, and the city has been destroyed, but it is also, Mother Nature is reclaiming it once again. And that's where all the trees and different things along those lines are now forming all around the different areas of the city. So I think that's kind of the deal, because I was originally thinking, is it in the process of being destroyed? Would I need to put fire and different things around here, maybe even creatures? But no, I think it's been some time. It's came, it's destroyed, and now this area is kind of reclaiming it once again. But the portal is here, ever watching for those hermits to arrive again. So yeah, I think that is pretty cool. So got a whole new set of things in my inventory now, and I thought we could just jump into adding a little evil. You guys ready for some evil? We've had all this nice, beautiful nature. It's now time for a little bit of evil. So I just kind of want to start at this point for some reason, just because we talked about this one earlier, where this piece kind of goes under the pathway, and I just thought we could kind of maybe start there. Is that powdered? Okay, that's powdered concrete. Do I have actual black? Okay, perfect. So that is the solid version of it. Nice, perfect. That's exactly what we want. So I was thinking, so if this kind of comes out here, now this piece could use just a little bit more, say, beefing up. So we maybe put like an extra block here or there. Do I have obsidian? All these blocks look the same in my inventory. Like there's very like little difference here. I thought I got obsidian. Oh, maybe I didn't. Let's go back over here real quick, because I'm almost 100% positive that I got obsidian for this project. Where is it? Oh, here you are. Anyway, so the new textures in Minecraft might change some of this in terms of design, but I think generally it'll be okay. So I think it'll be fine. So we just kind of beef that piece up just a little bit more, and then we can throw on just a little bit of flesh. Yeah, there we go. Now, oh man, this is exciting. Okay, good. So we got that. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to beef that section up just a little bit more, so it makes a little bit more sense on this side. So then we can replace, just get a little bit of obsidian in there, and maybe another piece here or there that's kind of growing under it. Beautiful. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make this into a bit more kind of tentacle-like, right? So I want it to kind of maybe go upwards, and then maybe one more block right there. Bam! That's how we do. And then this block just to kind of diffuse the block, so there's a little bit of variety of texture. Well, let's change that out with the concrete. See that? Oh, this is going to be fun. So next thing we could do is think about, is there any place to put this? Or that might be a little much for this. So let's just stick to the red for these pieces, just to give it that little extra bit. Ooh, that changed back the pathway. Anyway, so we'll swoop on around the back here and add those details. And then what we could do is take a little bit of the black, run those across there. Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Wait, hold on. I want it to be straight on top. There we go. And then we'll cut off the excess and put that one like that. Yeah. Oh man, that's fun. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's kind of the little details. I want these things to kind of be sticking outwards like that. And then for the most part, if we could pick a spot together here, let's say we do it. Let's do it over here. Let's do it right here. So right on this little section right here, why don't we think about doing the same thing? But we just start kind of changing up some of the blocks here, like maybe, you know, just a little bit of the kind of tentacles are reaching once again out of the ground, and we just make more of these. These are going to be quite a bit of trial and error in terms of design, because this is kind of punchy, if you will. Like we got all this gray and stuff, and then we're going with these deep colors with the reds and the blacks and all this stuff that kind of changes up the design. One thing I thought would also be kind of fun is around the little tentacles like this, we could throw in a little Nether Wart, like it's starting to grow its own plants around it. This is like truly turning into Stranger Things at this point. And I think this will be kind of cool in these little areas. Just gives it that extra little theme. And you know, you're walking through here and you're like, oh my, that is a little bit spooky. So I think that'll be pretty cool. And let's grab ourselves just a little bit of, gosh, I can't find any of the blocks that I need in my inventory. There we go. So we'll just grab that and maybe let's put another powdered concrete there, and see how the variety of this works really well, having the powdered version, the concretified version, and of course a little bit of obsidian along this. Just adds so much texture and variety to that. It looks absolutely beautiful. And then what we could do is use these kind of as the little fingers maybe of the monster. This is fun because this is so far out from what I usually do, you know, coming back into a landscape and just turning it evil. Not my usual by any means, and that looks kind of awful. So I'm not going to do that. Bam. Now it looks quite a bit better. So yeah, I think that looks quite a bit nicer if we just kind of add a little bit of detail like that and take that design and replicate it throughout the area in a more substantial way, because it's a little bit small, right? So if we maybe made the base of this a little bit larger, right? So if we kind of scaled this up a little bit more, so put a little obsidian here and maybe a little there, maybe put another block right there, and then kind of built it up like that. There we go. Then we'll put one more right there. Nice. See how much that made it better? Just to kind of make the base of the structure substantial. We talked about that earlier when we made the tree. Is look how much nicer this is once it's a little bit thicker, because it was a little bit scrawny before, and that's just adds so much more to it. So if we can take that design and start spreading it around, give me a few minutes. Let me think about how this can all go, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and as you can see, there is starting to be some of the portal tentacles reaching out, and these things are really, really fun to make. It's just I'm trying to be a little conservative in terms of using the materials, because we're using black concrete, obsidian, and all these different kind of nethery wart blocks that are very expensive, so being very cautious with that. But I think it's looking pretty cool. I just want to expand it outwards and really feel like it's just reaching out, and I think that is definitely working. So let's look at this guy over here to start with, because that is where we kind of left off. And as you can see, the Nether Wart is starting to grow up over there, which is very nice. So I think that's looking cool, but I feel like it needs to be 2 times the size of this. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should the little tentacles that are reaching up here be bigger? And then let's take just a quick little land right there. And this is, of course, another one that I've made. And I think this one I've done a little bit better. Like I made it a little bit more substantial. And I think maybe a couple more of the little red pieces here or there might actually look really nice. But one of my favorite aspects of this is the little bit of plants that are kind of growing around it. And I think that just kind of adds a little bit more to it. And of course, I wanted this one to be in this location because this is the tower that has fallen. So I wanted to be very specific and have one in that location. So I guess it's kind of figuring out where I want these and where I don't and how much I want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So take these little tentacles, I've expanded them a little bit further. As for up there, like at the top, I was thinking, should I make some more up there? I don't think so. I like the general design that Cub and I made a while back with this design. So, the question is, how many of these things do I make? And do they all originate from the portal, or is there just random pockets of this stuff growing around? I don't know. It's all fun things to think about in your head because you're making a process and a world in your mind, and you're like visualizing, okay, so what is the rules around this particular creature of what it is? And it's just a fun creative thought. And that's always the thing that really helps you drive your inspiration in Minecraft, is those little things of world building. It's what are the ground rules of the universe that we're creating? And yeah, it's super, super fun. And I think we're getting some decent progress, I want to shoot up into the air real quick and show you one last thing here before we head off and work some more on these, is that I will be taking the designs that we have outside and wait a sec, something's missing here. The cake's gone. What in the world? Where did the cake go? All this time I've been here. I've been seriously working on this video for like 6 to 7 hours at this point. I had no idea the cake was gone. Clearly there's some ghost block cake blocks over there. Those are the remnants. Wow. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, let's fly right over Bob's head. This area, we're going to expand the trees out all along the perimeter, of course. It just takes a very long time to get all of the little things down. But yeah, I'm going to continue to work on this a little bit more. Continue to add blocks and things along those lines. Maybe, hold on, before we go. I want to mention one more thing. Let's find the right one. Maybe this one? Yeah, how about this one? We have some of the little tentacles coming out of the top of this tower. Oh, that would be pretty sweet. Anyway, guys, let me work on this a little bit more and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and look at all the amazing amount of work we've got done today. That is absolutely tremendous amount. So let's fly down here and actually let's start way out in the pathway and see it all by dodging and weaving the trees. So coming in here, you can see how the landscaping is starting to emerge, and everything we've done today can now be incorporated throughout the design. So I'll be working on this off camera and different things along those lines, but we've got the fundamental designs all established, and that red flower is still there. You know what that reminds me of? Do you know what that reminds me of? Viva Las Vegas. Oh, those Viva revolutionaries. Anyway. So we got the water all set up right there. That's looking good. And then the trees along here, and ooh, you can see the scary stuff. So let's go through the Fallen Tower. And I think it's really cool that we're incorporating Iskal's design that he created in the Nether into the community area and like tying it all together, why it's underground. And that just makes me super happy that so many little aspects are now tied together. So look at all of these trees. That's absolutely amazing. And I just finished this little tentacle that reached out of the ground. And one of the things I was thinking about in terms of, is this place old, maybe the flesh on the sides of the obsidian and the black concrete is, you know, the bones, and the flesh is starting to wear off because it's been quite some time. See, we're bringing the story together. That's making us super happy. Let's walk along here, and I finished up this section right here, and I'm very, very pleased with the way this has all come together. So this is an area that's really been torn apart, and these tentacles are reaching in and clawing it out, and I think that's pretty cool. Oh man, I really like this section right there. So that's really cool. Let's walk down here. And oh, that was a weird illusion, like the glass with the leaves behind it. Ooh, creepy. So we got all these little things down here. Man, I'm speechless right now. I don't have any words because we got a ton of work done today. Wow, look at this thing now. Man, this is really cool. This makes me happy. And this is why I absolutely love this game, is these kind of fun little adventures we end up on, creating all this landscaping and all these little tentacles reaching out and doing all sorts of scary things. But I've got to go catch a flight, my friends. It is time to render this out so I can head off the mine fair. And I hope you enjoyed the episode here with our crazy landscaping and nethering of the area. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserves a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later, and don't forget to subscribe because you may just become scarred for life.